Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Dr. Christine Bradstreet of Change Your Mind, Change Your Life. And today's topic regarding chronic pain recovery, chronic nuisance symptom recovery, is focus on feeling safer. So just about every video in this chronic pain, chronic symptom series talks about how chronic pain and chronic nuisance symptoms are not coming from your body. Remember, they're coming from a mix-up in the wiring that developed over time in your brain, where your brain is perceiving certain things as dangerous that truly are not dangerous, but it's created a loop, a cycle that's been impossible so far for you to get out of regarding chronic pain and chronic symptoms. But this is where that cycle changes. So welcome. Now, I realized that when I explain how the answer to overcoming chronic pain or chronic symptoms is to dial down the perceived fear, to help reassure your brain that you are safe and messages of safety. But what I haven't talked about yet is if you've developed over a lifetime or over a very long period of time a bit of an overactive brain, overactive fight or flight system, that's not going to disappear right away. It came on gradually. Now, granted, there can be a very traumatic experience that amps that up suddenly. And of course, we've all had traumatic experiences in our lives to varying degrees. And while that will give a big bump in your brain and body's sensitivity to the fight or flight system, let's not forget that also it developed gradually over your lifetime. So the same thing is going to happen. And while people absolutely can and do make strides rapidly, sometimes it will be an aha moment where it just seems like that is the answer and you break the cycle. It's very important to remember that your brain and body's fight or flight system is going to be dialed down gradually. And if you've been used to having a system that is very fear sensitive, you might be at a point where you don't even believe this concept that you could be safe in this world. It might just seem impossible to you, or maybe no matter how hard you try with breathing exercises and meditation and yoga or even medication, you still just don't ever feel safe. So what I have in today's video is two very simple yet very effective mechanisms to override your brain's resistance to messages of safety. So the number one recommendation I have is to, instead of focusing on feeling safe, because we're not trying to convince, we're not trying to trick your brain and body into believing that it's safe, I want you to focus on the concept of safer. So is it more reasonable and does it feel more believable to you to say things like, I'm safer than I realized. I'm safer than I've been willing to recognize. Or even though I went through hard times, I am safer today. Or right here, right now, at this very instance, I am safer than I have felt in the past. Now, let me give a caveat here. If you truly are living in a dangerous situation, so for example, domestic violence, this is in no way meant to be mistaken for reasons to stay in an unsafe situation if you are able to get out of it. So I'm not in any way encouraging that or suggesting that that is an answer to your recovery. Absolutely not. What I am talking about is perceived danger, perceived fear, not actual true threats to your health, safety, or well-being. Okay, so summarizing step one, focus, instead of trying to believe or convince yourself to believe that you are perfectly safe in all time, space, and dimension at the moment, does it feel comfortable and okay to say you're safer? And then fill in the blank. Safer than you thought, or safer than you were in the past. Okay, does that make sense? All right, and then the second technique to use is, if it doesn't feel believable to hear yourself think or say, I am safe, I would like you instead to say, I believe there's the possibility that I am safe. Okay, that's one word that makes a big difference. So saying, I believe I am safe versus I believe it's possible that I am safe, or I believe there's a possibility that I am safe. Just adding in that word possibility really breaks down the brain's resistance, the subconscious mind's resistance to the idea that you could be safe. Again, if gradually over a lifetime this sense of not being safe has developed, or if it's developed because of traumatic experiences, it might be very unbelievable to consider that you are safe. So instead, consider the possibility that you are safe. So the possibility that I am safe right now, the possibility that that was then, but this is now, the possibility that I am safer than I believed that I was. All right, so those are two simple yet extremely powerful ways to kind of go through the back door to your subconscious mind to feed it messages of safety and reassurance. And we know what that does. Messages of safety and reassurance are going to dial down the chronic pain, the chronic stress symptoms that you've been experiencing as the result of the mind-body connection, or neuroplastic symptoms, or the neural circuit loop. All right, I hope you learned something very useful for you today. Thanks for being here. I'm Dr. Christine Bradstreet. Before you go ahead and hit that subscribe button, please. And you won't miss any future content if you do that, and it motivates me to keep producing this content for you. All right, my friends, I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.